In the occupied West Bank now, Israeli forces have carried out a series of raids, ransacking Palestinian homes. Several people were injured in confrontations between Israeli troops and residents in the Jenin refugee camp. Raids also took place in towns near Hebron and Ramallah. Charles Stratford is in Ramallah, in the occupied West Bank. So, Charles, what happened specifically in Jenin?
Well, yes, those Israeli army raids that we've seen now for the last months now, since October the 7th, no sign of them abating in any way. According to our reporters in the field, they are telling us that there were at least 11 raids in various towns and villages right the way across the occupied West Bank last night, including villages around Hebron in the south, Bethlehem in the centre of the occupied West Bank, and as you mentioned, also around Jenin and Nablus. Jenin, of course, and Nablus have long been centres for the armed resistance, and that's where we've seen some of the longest and most violent raids, huge destruction caused to infrastructure in these areas, the use of Israeli armoured bulldozers to dig up roads, of course destroying water infrastructure, electricity infrastructure, considered a form of collective punishment. We also understand, certainly according to reports, that there were armed clashes in Tubas and Jenin, and the use, according to some reports, of what's been described as improvised explosive devices. A number of people were injured, we understand. There were also at least 18 arrests, although we are expecting some sort of official figure, as is usually the case every day, from the Palestinian Authority in the coming hours. I think what's interesting also to mention is that seemingly we're seeing a change in tactics by the Israeli army now in these raids. Increasingly the arrest of female family members, of families in which the Israelis believe there are suspected members of the armed resistance that they are hunting. Well, usually these mothers, daughters, sisters are detained. They are then interrogated. But this level of intimidation is something that we are seeing an increasing amount of. So, as I say, no sign that these raids in any way are lessening. And according to our calculations, so far, since October the 7th, last night's raids means that more than 6,300 Palestinians have been arrested and more than 370 killed since those Hamas attacks on October the 7th.
Charles Stratford reporting from Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. Thank you very much, Charles.